Hey everybody, Tim here with today's two-part episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 5, Episodes 14 and 15, In Purgatory's Shadow and By Inferno's Light. So once again, Deep Space Nine's doing it to me where they come up with a two-part episode with different titles. I don't know why they can't just do Part 1 and Part 2. I don't know, they have to be difficult, but it works. And this is a terrific two-part episode. I've kind of said for some of the other episodes where I felt like it was a two-part episode, but it didn't have to be. It could have just been a one-part. Or other times where they've had a terrific storyline that's just one episode, and I would love to have seen it stretch over two. This episode is perfect the way it is. Like, it was two parts, and it needed it to be two parts. So it starts out pretty interesting where we see Gul Dukat comes aboard the station, and Garak is interested in Zial, Dukat's daughter. And clearly, Dukat has some issues with that, especially since Garak killed his father. But overall, it's a touchy subject because Zial's the only kind of, she's a half-breed, but she's one of the few Cardassians on board, and Garak's the only full-blooded Cardassian on board. And Dukat being on board already is kind of, it's a red flag. Like, you should pay attention to that. So a message comes through, and Garak is deemed the only one that can really figure out what this message is saying. And it's coming from the Gamma Quadrant. And so Garak lies, and he's like, oh yeah, it's just a 5-year mission about, like, exploratory and stuff like that. But he goes to steal a runabout, and Dr. Bashir's there, and he's like, what did it actually say? And it turns out that Garak's mentor, Tain, is still alive, and is sent the message through to Garak. And so we haven't seen Tain in quite a long time. And in fact, if we go back a few episodes, the female changeling was like, all the Cardassians are dead. Even you're dead. You just don't know it. And it was super intense. Well, it turns out that she lied about that. And so Garak talks to Cisco and allows him, so Worf and Garak decide to go to the Gamma Quadrant and try to find this message. So they're going through and they swing by a nebula, and this nebula is full of Jem'Hadar warships. That's clearly, they're hiding and they're getting ready to invade. So Worf and Garak are taken prisoner, and they go to like this little asteroid planet where there's a bunch of other Cardassian slaves that are on the asteroid in jail, basically. Martok is there, and when Worf introduces himself, Martok says like, "Oh, I've heard about you before." So this is the first time we've ever actually seen the real Martok. We found out he was a changeling the last time we saw him, but going all the way back to the season 4 premiere. That Martok was also this changeling spy, and this one actually has like scar damage over his eye. So we finally get to meet this character. So they take him to their cell, and there's Martok, there's a Breen that does absolutely nothing. I was super frustrated. I was expecting him to like reveal himself to be something, but no, just a useless Breen character. And then Dr. Bashir's there. But not only is Dr. Bashir there, but he's in the old outfit where it's the black on the bottom and the blue is on top. So he's been a changeling. The Dr. Bashir on the station has been like infiltrating for over a month now. I mean, it's been like 4 or 5 episodes since they went to the gray uniform. And Dr. Bashir says like it's been a month where he went to a conference about burn victims or something, and then went to bed and woke up and he was on here. I did not see that coming, like, anywhere. And I've watched Deep Space Nine before. Evidently, I just blocked that memory out because it totally caught me off guard. And I kind of wish I'd known, or wish I'd remembered, because I would have brought it up when they first changed the uniforms. Like, guaranteed, this is not Dr. Bashir anymore. So, throughout the episode, they're trying to figure out a way to escape. Garak asks Tain to just refer to him as his son just one time, which is also a big reveal that did not see that coming. And evidently Tain is Garak's father, but has never accepted him. And he's like, you know what, I should have killed your mom. And it's just like this heartbreaking moment where we start to see more about Garak. And it's just, I don't know, it was just really heartbreaking to watch him like try to reach out to his father because Tain's about to die and he gets nothing. Tain finally starts to talk about Garak as a child, and he's like, there was this one time and it really made me happy. And then he dies, but he never refers to him in the present, so it was really sad. We finally go to the second part, and it's a big twist. I personally did not see it coming, where it turns out Cardassia has joined the Empire. We have Klingon ships around the station. We have Romulan ships around the station. All sorts of stuff is going on. Gowron even shows up. And finally, the Jem'Hadar fleet comes out. Deep Space Nine tries to close the wormhole, but it's sabotaged by Dr. Bashir because he's the changeling, and he tries to fly away. They blow him up. But the Jem'Hadar fleet, rather than attacking the station, takes a swing and goes towards Cardassia. And everybody's like, what's going on? And Gul Dukat's like, oh, that's me. I signed a treaty. We're with them now. And so it kind of comes out of nowhere. You're just like, wow, I did not foresee that. Meanwhile, on the asteroid, we see Garak have a terrible case of claustrophobia, which is something he brought up. I don't know if it was meant to be a hint, but when he first goes on the Defiant, he talks about, wow, this is a little claustrophobic. And when he's in the wall trying to figure out a way to escape, he really has an attack. We see the Jem'Hadar and Worf have this battle game where basically they just keep attacking Worf until he gives up. And I think they say he kills 7 Jem'Hadar warriors at one time. And finally, the leader of the Jem'Hadar goes up there and basically just defeats Worf, and the Vorta in control is like, go ahead and kill him, and the Jem'Hadar's like, no, I can't defeat him. And this is where we kind of start seeing the Jem'Hadar have honor, and he could easily kill Worf at this point, but if it was one-on-one, both in their peak, because at this point Worf has broken ribs and all sorts of other stuff, but he's still winning. If he was in his prime, fully healed, and this Jem'Hadar soldier had fought, who would win? And this Jem'Hadar's like, no, I'm not going to be a broken man. And so it's kind of interesting. And the Vorta's just kill them all. We see the Vorta, the first hint of this Cardassia treaty, the Vorta is like, okay, anybody that's a Cardassia, you're free to go, except for Garak, because Gul Dukat is now the leader of your country, your whole race. We get to the end, and it's kind of the cliche ending. Everybody goes back to the station, and things are happy. But we've definitely seen a new turn in this war, with Cardassia and joining the Dominion. And I loved it. I did not see it happening, and I thought this was a perfect 2-part episode. For those who have seen this one, what did you think about... And the Breen. The Breen was the most worthless character ever. He just kind of shows up and shoots the Jem'Hadar at the last second, and then just sits back down. He doesn't do anything. So what did you think about the stupid Breen character? What did you think about Dr. Bashir being a changeling? What did you think about Cardassia joining the Dominion? What do you think about Garak's father and his claustrophobia? And what do you think about this whole episode in general as a 2-parter? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for the subscriptions and for everything, and I will see you guys next time for the fantastic episode, Dr. Bashir, I presume.